I joined a dark web challenge. Now they're watching me. My laptop screen flickered, showing a grainy live video feed of me. I froze in my chair. It wasn't my webcam that was on, but a window inside the Dark Dare Challenge website, showing a dim view of my bedroom from a corner I couldn't even see. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it. The chat box beside the video scrolled with messages from strangers, all saying the same thing. "We see you, Tyler." I tried to shut the laptop, but a message popped up instantly. "Don't move." The lights in my room went out. That's when I realized the camera showing my room wasn't just some random hack. Someone was in my house. I know you probably think I'm making this up. I wish I was. But it all started 2 weeks ago, when I joined what I thought was a harmless online challenge. I was bored that night. It was past midnight and my friends were asleep. I was scrolling through Reddit when I found a post titled, "Only join if you're brave, the Dark Dare Challenge." The comments were full of people claiming it was fake, but others said they'd won prizes for completing it. The rules were simple. Visit a hidden link, accept the dare, and follow the instructions sent to you by an anonymous moderator. I clicked the link. The page loaded with a dark red background and a single blinking box that said, "Enter." My reflection glowed faintly on the laptop screen, and I remember whispering, "This is stupid," before hitting the button. The website glitched for a moment, then asked for my name, age, and email. I typed Tyler M17, then a chat box opened. "Moderator Israel1. Welcome, Tyler. Ready for your first dare?" I typed back, "Sure." They told me to go outside and take a picture of my streetlight exactly at 3:03 a.m. I laughed. It sounded harmless. I even texted my best friend Brandon about it, but he didn't reply, probably as leap. So I waited until the clock hit 3:03, stepped outside in my hoodie, and snapped the photo. The air was cold and silent. I uploaded it. A few seconds later, the moderator responded, "Good boy. You're in now. Don't quit." The next night, another dare arrived. Write your full address on a piece of paper, take a picture, and upload it. That's when I should have stopped. But curiosity won. I told myself it was just some harmless prank run by bored hackers. After I sent it, the challenges got stranger. One asked me to record myself whispering my biggest fear into the camera. Another said to leave my bedroom window open before midnight. Every time I completed one, I'd get a message that said, "We're watching. Keep going." I tried to quit, but the site wouldn't close. When I turned off my laptop, it powered itself back on. I unplugged it, but the screen still flickered, showing the word "Stay." 3 nights ago, my phone buzzed with a new text from an unknown number. It read, "Nice blue hoodie. It suits you." That's when I realized I was wearing my blue hoodie right then. Panic shot through me. I tore my room apart looking for a hidden camera, but found nothing. I told my mom someone was pranking me online, but she brushed it off, saying I'd been spending too much time on creepy forums. But last night proved I wasn't imagining things. When I got home from school, there was a small black envelope taped to my bedroom door. Inside was a Polaroid photo of me sitting at my desk, typing on my laptop. I hadn't seen anyone take that picture. My hands trembled as I turned the photo over. On the back, written in red ink, were 3 words: "Next dare tonight." And that's when my laptop screen turned on by itself, showing that live video feed of my room. Only this time, the chat said something new. "Turn around." I froze in my chair, staring at the words, "Turn around." My throat felt dry. The only light in the room came from my laptop screen, casting a faint glow on the walls. My heart thudded so loud I thought whoever was watching could hear it. Slowly I turned. Nothing. Just my messy bed, my clothes on the floor, and my half-open closet door. But when I looked back at my laptop, the live feed had changed. The angle was different, closer. Whoever was filming had moved. I slammed the laptop shut and ran out of my room. My mom was asleep downstairs, so I didn't wake her. I sat in the hallway, gripping my phone, trying to convince myself it was all a trick. Some hacker found my webcam, that's all, but then I remembered. The angle on the live video wasn't from my webcam. It was higher, like from the corner of my room, where no camera existed. I didn't sleep that night. When morning came, I told Brandon everything. He laughed at first, then frowned when I showed him the Polaroid. "Dude, that's messed up," he said. "You gotta tell the cops." "I can't," I said. "They'll think I joined something illegal." He suggested we search for the site again, but when we tried, it was gone. The link was dead. Every trace of it had disappeared, even from my browsing history. That afternoon, while I was still at school, Brandon texted me. "Bro, check this out. Someone made a TikTok about you." I opened the link he sent. My stomach dropped. It was a clip from my own room, me sitting at my desk, staring at my laptop. The caption read, "Dark Dare Player number 42. He joined. Now they're watching." The video had over 10,000 views. That night I put tape over my laptop's camera and turned off my phone. I thought maybe if I stopped using tech they couldn't reach me, but at 2:00 a.m. I heard tapping on my window. Slow, deliberate taps. I didn't move. Then my phone, which I'd powered off hours earlier, buzzed. Its screen lit up with a new message. "You didn't complete your next dare." I looked toward the window again. The blinds moved slightly, like someone brushed against them. I ran to the door and locked it, breathing hard. My phone buzzed again. "Open the blinds, Tyler." I wanted to throw the phone, but something in me, fear, curiosity, I don't know, made me look. I lifted the blinds just enough to peek outside. Standing in my yard was a man in a black hoodie. His face was hidden, but he was holding his phone up, recording. When he noticed me, he waved. I dropped the blinds and stumbled back. My hands shook as I called Brandon, whispering for him to come over. He said he'd grab his dad and drive right away. I sat in the corner of my room staring at the door until headlights flashed through my window 20 minutes later. I ran outside, but the man was gone. Only footprints remained in the wet grass. Brandon's dad checked the yard with a flashlight, but found nothing else. "Probably some prank," he muttered, but I could tell from his voice he didn't believe it either. I slept on the couch that night, keeping every light on. The next morning, my mom found another black envelope on the porch. This one wasn't sealed. Inside was another photo, me, asleep on the couch. Written on the back, in the same red ink, were the words, "We told you not to quit." I stared at it, my hands cold and sweaty. My mom asked who took it, but I couldn't answer. I didn't even know anymore if I was being hacked or hunted. That night, I didn't open my laptop. I didn't touch my phone. I just sat there in the dark, trying not to think. But around midnight, a sound echoed from upstairs. My laptop, powering on. When I reached my room, the screen was glowing again. The live video feed had returned, but this time, I wasn't in it. It showed my mom asleep in her room. The camera angle right above her bed. And then a new message appeared on the screen. "Your next dare. Stop her before we do." My whole body went cold. I stared at the glowing words on my laptop screen. "Your next dare. Stop her before we do." I could barely breathe. My hands trembled as I looked toward my mom's room. I wanted to believe it was fake again, but the camera angle on the live feed was real. I recognized the floral blanket she used, the lamp beside her bed, even the half-open window above her head. Someone was in our house. I grabbed the nearest thing I could find, a baseball bat, and ran to her room. My heart pounded like thunder in my ears. I pushed open her door, ready to swing. Nothing. She was still there, sleeping peacefully. No one else in sight. I rushed to the window and looked outside. The street was quiet, dark, empty. But when I turned back toward her bed, the laptop screen in my hand flickered. The live video had changed again. Now it showed me, standing by her window. Then the screen went black. My mom stirred and sat up. "Tyler? What are you doing?" Someone's watching us," I said. My voice shook. "They're inside the house." She blinked, confused. But when I showed her the photos and messages, her face went pale. She called 911 immediately. While we waited for the police, I noticed something strange. My Wi-Fi router's light was flashing wildly, like it was overloaded. Then my phone buzzed again, even though I'd turned it off earlier. It lit up with another message: "Don't call them." Seconds later, the power in the whole house cut out. We were left in total darkness. My mom whispered my name, clutching my arm. I tried to move toward the living room where I'd left a flashlight, but before I could, a loud knock echoed from the front door, slow, steady, and deliberate. 3 knocks, then silence. My mom started crying quietly. I motioned for her to stay back and crept toward the sound. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my fingertips. Another knock, this time softer. When I reached the peephole, I froze. A figure stood on our porch, wearing a black hoodie, same one from before. But this time, he wasn't alone. Behind him, I saw 3 others. They were all holding phones, their screens glowing white in the darkness, pointed straight at the door. I whispered, "They're here," and backed away slowly. Suddenly, every phone in the house, mine, my mom's, even the one we'd left charging in the kitchen, began ringing at once. A horrible, high-pitched ringtone, all in sync. My mom screamed, covering her ears. I yanked the power cords, but they kept ringing, louder and louder, until all the windows began to shake. Then, silence. The phone stopped. The knocking stopped. The only sound left was our breathing. Then my laptop screen flickered back to life. A live video appeared, not of my room this time, but the front porch. It showed the 4 hooded figures standing perfectly still. Then, one of them raised his hand and pointed the phone's camera at the screen. At me. A distorted voice came through the speakers, robotic and cold. "You broke the rules, Tyler." The screen glitched, and another message appeared. "Final dare. Run." Before I could react, the front door handle turned slowly. The sound of metal scraping against the lock filled the room. My mom screamed again, and I grabbed her hand, pulling her toward the back door. We ran into the backyard, stumbling in the dark, the cold night air cutting against my face. I looked back at the house. The front door was wide open now, and the figures were inside. We made it to the fence, climbed over, and ran toward our neighbor's yard. I could hear footsteps behind us, quiet, synchronized, getting closer. When we reached the neighbor's porch, I turned to look one last time. All 4 figures had stopped at the edge of our yard. They didn't follow. US. They just stood there, their phones still raised, recording. And then one by one they lowered their cameras and pointed directly at me. The police arrived minutes later, but by then the figures were gone. They found footprints, but no faces, no names, no clues. That night, we went to stay at a motel. I thought it was finally over. But when I opened my phone the next morning, my stomach dropped. There was a new video posted on my TikTok account, one I never recorded. It was a live feed of our motel room, me and my mom, still asleep. The caption read, "Dark Dare Player Number 42, Challenge Completed." And the comments below were filled with hundreds of new usernames, all saying the same thing: "You're next."